so happy, my hair so nappy, had an afro.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Arsenal versus Aston Villa, lot to talk about. And sorry, I didn't put my other video out the other day against Spurs because when I was on my way home, I thought, let me join them guys on the stream. So I kind of left my 2 cents on there instead. Not been a great Christmas for those of you who know me personally. I lost someone who's close to me, and that's the reason why I haven't put a lot of videos up. But don't worry, I've still got you covered on game day, and I'm here to talk about the game today. Overall, I'm not really concerned about today. Remember, Aston Villa not been in great form, didn't win the last 5 away games until they won 1-0 the other day. And so they're really struggling. They've got Torres out, McGinn's out, got quite a few, Barkley as well, Ross Barkley. They've got quite a few injuries at the moment they're dealing with. Layla as well, which is an Arsenal Academy player. He might make his debut for them today. But yeah, they're struggling a little bit. Newcastle and Nottingham Forest and everyone trying to get into the top 4, they're not really in that battle. Yeah, they've kind of fallen off a little bit. And in regards to Arsenal, well, there's a lot to say, isn't there? But I mean, in fairness, their only problem is up front. You know, 50 shots and only 10 on target and 3 goals in the last 2 games. It's been a real struggle. It's been a real struggle. And I just want to let everybody understand that when the teams like this, we have to show our support. We can't be tearing them down. Can't be ripping them down, because the players, they feel that energy. And if we want to help, if we want to be the 12th man and help get our team over the line, we have to be there and support them and get them over the line. The support against Tottenham on Wednesday was unbelievably good, which is expected because it happens like that every season. But because we've been in poor form at the moment, we didn't want to lose that, and we didn't. And so kudos, loving the support from all of you guys at the stadium. And I'm going to leave it at that, because that for me is where the love is. That's where the players can see the love. When you go onto social media, it's a completely different thing. And if I was a player, I wouldn't be looking at anything Facebook or Twitter related, because it would just tear you down. And the players don't need that right now. The players need support. And so for us, we're looking for a couple of goals today just to guarantee us over the line. And it really just has been about that. Martin Odegaard, since he's got back from injury, he's created 42 chances. 42 created chances. Number 1 in the Premier League, and twice more than any other Arsenal player since he's been back. In fact, in the last 2 games, he's created 14 chances alone. And that just goes to show you that how good would this team be if we had somebody who knew how to shoot. Or if somebody would just shoot. Yeah, because like it's been toothless to the point where we're just not even trying to work the goalie. Against Tottenham, we had a very inexperienced goalkeeper who, the only time we worked him, which was Trossard's shot, it took too late for him to hit the ground and the ball went in. But we just didn't even attempt to work the goalkeeper. So those are the things that are concerning. Those are the things that I'm hoping that we will be working on and to fix. And at some point, we're going to have a breakout. Yeah, it can't last forever. We are due to get some players back. I talked about that previously before in terms of Tomiyasu, Ben White, Ethan Nwaneri, 7 to 10 days for those guys to come back. And sadly, the news I got from the medical team was that Saka's delay has been pushed to April now. So it no longer has a March date. So we're hemorrhaging at the moment, but we know that we've only got 4 attacking players. That's it. 4. So if you have to make 1 substitution in your attacking role, then you're done. You've got no more other options. The other day, Kieran Tierney had to come out and play on the left in Martinelli's position. That's how bad things got. So we're hurting right now. And what makes it worse is we've got late tests today with Calafiori and Saliba. They think he's got like a hamstring strain. And so if that's a danger, then they probably, if it was me, I would probably not play him today, because the worst thing that you can do with something like that bubbling up is push him to the limits, and then the hamstring goes. Then Saliba's out for 2 months. So if it's rest he needs, and then they've got to warm up the muscle and give it some rest, then I would potentially take that chance, knowing there's a Champions League on Wednesday. There's a Champions League game on Wednesday against Dynamo Kiev. But if he passes that test, then obviously play him, because you're playing against Ollie Watkins, who hasn't been in the hottest form this season, but he's still a threat, and he's a threat off the ball as well. So, look, I think at the moment, in regards to these two teams, it hasn't been a draw in over 10 games. And we've only won 5 out of the last 10. So it's a pretty even Stevens against this team. You know, they've beaten us 5 times. We've beaten them 5 times in the last 10 games. So when you're looking at our form, and it only is our attacking form, there's nothing wrong with the midfield and there's nothing wrong with the defence. We're still the number 1 team in the league in terms of defence this season, just as we was last season. So it's just really about trying to be more clinical up front. That's all it is. And at some point, then someone's going to catch a fire. You know, Havertz is our leading goal scorer. I remember against Ipswich, he was the one that got us over the line, and we loved him then. But he's been toothless over the last few games, and everyone's jumping on his back. But he was heavily supported against Spurs, and that's the type of thing he needs. Today, again, we need to heavily support Havertz, because he's the hope that we've got. You know, the problem is that we've just drawn too many games this season. We've just drawn too many, especially from leading positions, and it had to do with those 3 red cards as well. You know, the Man City game, the Brighton game, you know, those are games that we should have got over the line had we not had a man sent off. That's 4 points from those games. So I'm really happy the fact that we're still in a title race. And at the moment, as we speak, Liverpool are away to Brentford, and it's 0-0 in the 50th minute. So, and I went for a draw in that game with them today, because I keep saying Liverpool's going to hit their patch, and I think they're probably already in it. They've drawn 3 of their last 5 games. You know, it's been a slip up for them. You know, they're not looking like the Liverpool of old, and I don't want to talk too soon, because they might go and score 2 or 3 goals in the second half and blow Brentford away. But they can be had. Their form's dropping. And Arsenal, guys, are the only team really competing. You know, some might say Nottingham Forest. You know, you got to talk about them. But Arsenal are the real contenders to that title for this season, and so we have to win today. And my prediction today is going to be 2-1, and I'm just looking for Raheem Sterling to catch fire. And guys, look, and I know his family, so you're never going to hear me say a bad word about Raheem Sterling. So that's the reason why I've stayed out of most of you guys' conversations on the forum. You know, I'm not going to badmouth family like that. But what I will say to you is he hasn't played a lot of football. Initially, 146 minutes in half a season. You know, starting 2 games, that's awful. So that's on Arteta. But now he's playing. He's just come back from an injury as well. So he's been out for 3 weeks, just come back from an injury. So he's a little bit rusty. And we could see that in the Tottenham game. You know, there was times where we saw him when he was in 2 minds. And he'll know that, because he's one of the only guys we've got in the team who can beat a man. And regardless what his form is, he scares defences, whether he's playing well or not. He puts the fear in defences, because he will expose your defence. He will go past your defenders. So that's my thoughts about it, guys. And I'll speak to you at half time and see if we can hold it down then. As I said, 2-1 to Arsenal for today. I'll catch you soon. Yeah, guys, absolutely gutted today, man. I was in the car listening to Liverpool and Brentford, and then David Nunes. After 37 shots, they had 6 shots on target. Liverpool scored in the 97th minute. Just rubbish, really, isn't it? It's just like, it's typical Liverpool. That's what they've been doing all season. So much for them having a poor run of form. But anyway, just wanted to talk about Arsenal and the team sheet. The team sheet today, as I said, I talked about Saliba, and they felt a tweak in his hamstring yesterday, so they're resting him today. And they needed to do that. Playing him today would have been a mistake, considering that if the hamstring popped, he would have been out for months. So better you rest him today, better you rest him and see what he feels like in the midweek against Dynamo Kiev, and then if you need to rest him that game, then rest him as well. It deformulates us, because obviously it means Thomas Partey's got to go right back and Timber goes into the middle. Strange how they don't want to play Kivior today. because it kind of upsets the balance when Thomas Partey's not in the midfield. But they've gone with a Moreno, Odegaard and Declan Rice midfield. Then up top they've got Havertz in the middle, and then they've got Trossard and Martinelli. So I don't think it changes anything, because defensively we shouldn't have an issue. It'd be nice to see how Timber deals with Ollie Watkins up there, because Thomas Partey, even though he's listed as a right back, you guys know he'll be playing in a double pivot and they'll be supporting Declan Rice in that role anyway, so it really doesn't make that much of a difference. Still, I'm expecting us to win today, but it just doesn't Liverpool's result just make you sick to your stomach. Just absolutely typical. Anyway, speak to you guys later. Peace out, guys. Hey guys, half time, Arsenal 1, Villa 0, and you couldn't write it any better than this, could you? And everything is going Arsenal's way. It looks like the first 10-15 minutes, we're just seeing a different approach by Arsenal, something different from what we've seen in the last few games. Instead of the recycling the ball on the outside, they're really looking to stab the ball into the box. And time again, 3 or 4 times, they've played that ball, slip ball, right in between the two centre-backs, and Martinelli's been taking advantage of that. On the right-hand side, on the left, the quality crosses from Trossard are really giving Villa all sorts of trouble. But Moreno really has been the one that's been putting the ball through on the left-hand side. He's the one that played Trossard through on the goal. Such a sublime curler, beat 2 defenders, and then Trossard hit the ball low and hard for Martinelli to get on the end of. Martinez does get his hand on it, but we were saved by Hawkeye there on that situation, and Arsenal go up 1-0. But I do want to talk about the battle in the midfield. That's really been the key to the game. Villa have always struggled to play past Arsenal in the midfield, and they've only really had Onana to transition. He's off the field now, so in the last 10 minutes they found it extremely difficult to get past Arsenal's midfield, and they've been subjected to route 1 balls to Ollie Watkins. That's how they scored against us last year when they were up here. And what happened in that game is Watkins blindsided Saliba. Saliba didn't angle him on his right foot, and then he goes and hits the shot, and it goes into the back of the net. Here, the same thing happens, but Timber shuts off that angle and forces Ollie Watkins all the way out to the touchline, and the ball goes back to the midfield. So kudos on Timber there, great defending, textbook how you teach it, chef's kiss. Things have got worse for Villa because of that Onana injury. He's off. And now they're stifled in the midfield. Onana was what they was using to create overloads against Arsenal. That's not there anymore. So the key component for them is to really just get the ball long to Ollie Watkins. Arsenal seem to be dealing with that. So as far as this goes, it's all going to plan with Arsenal. But the quality of the football and the passing from Odegaard and Moreno has just been the difference today in comparison to Spurs and to Man United. And you have to say, guys, when it's bad, call it out. When it's good, call out as well. And Martinelli has been fantastic today. He's been over on the right-hand side. He's looked heady. He's made those runs in. He's 2 or 3 times he's slipped behind that back line from balls coming in, and he's just putting Villa under so much pressure. On the left-hand side, Trossard has had the help of Moreno. A couple of times he's been a bit isolated, but maybe they want to work more on that in the second half and try and get him more support, because I feel Trossard's still got a part to play in this game. He's had 3 shots so far today, but it just looks so good going forward. We look dangerous, we look like we can score, we look very gamey. Game on. Speak to you guys at full time. Guys, it finishes up here. Arsenal 2, Aston Villa 2. Not the result that we wanted. Very disappointed. A lot of people here leaving the Emirates Stadium really upset. Very low-key, somber mood, because it was a game that really Arsenal should have won. And this was the one that you really needed to win, to put pressure on Liverpool. Liverpool just getting lucky earlier on in the day with that win in injury time. Arsenal actually scored a goal in the 89th minute, a minute left to go. And then it gets ruled handball when Havertz actually has his hand tucked in to his body. So, I mean, I think it should have been given a goal. It's a really bad decision. When the crowd saw the replay on the big screen, everybody was up in uproar because it was just such a silly decision. But that's just been us. That's just how it's been working for us for the whole season. So it doesn't surprise me. And with these games, you got to put them to bed. And, you know, we just wasn't clinical enough. I thought our overall play, especially in the first half, was much improved. But it just comes down to fine lines in these games. And unfortunately, we were just undone. The disappointment is, I mean, you get 2 goals up against Aston Villa at home. And remember, I did say it's the last 10 games. There's not been a draw against these 2 teams. Arsenal have won 5, Villa's won 5. So this is the first draw they've had for the last 5 years against each other. But it was just the nature of Arsenal being tuning up and was strolling really. And then the cross comes in on the left-hand side. He's wide up. He's got all the time in the world to place that cross. Tielemans gets in, unmarked into the box for a header, and it's 2-1. And really, you can talk about the goals. The second goal again was exactly the same thing. Ball comes in, this time from the right, and then he's unmarked, comes in, and Ollie Watkins goes in, gets his foot on it, and it goes up high above Raya. And for both instances, the marking was poor. So what do you got to put down to this? Saliba not being here, and the injuries kind of felt 1,000-fold by goals being scored in those positions when our centre-backs are normally rock solid. This is the best defence in the league, and there's 2 goals coming in from crosses, which we always deal with. And was it because Saliba wasn't there? I think so. I think that Saliba not being here was probably the difference today in us getting 3 points and coming away with a draw. And that's just been our season. There's no point really moaning about it. There's no point being upset about the situation. Everything that could possibly go wrong for Arsenal this season has gone wrong. So this is just an antithesis of what we've had to deal with, and quite frankly, I'm not surprised. It does not surprise me in the slightest. So we walk away from here with a point. Liverpool has a chance to extend it. Forest, if they win their game, they're now tied with Arsenal, but they have a poor goal difference. So we're still in second regardless, but we're not doing anything to push Liverpool or chase Liverpool. So that's the frustration. So we'll have to see how it goes. Champions League on Wednesday. I'll catch up with you guys soon. Peace out.
We made it this far, so I can't complain. Let's take a trip down memory lane.